Good afternoon, and thank you for watching the FERC Order 2023 Points of Interconnection Heat Map. We'll be walking through today what this heat map does and what it looks like. It's going to be a high-level overview, how it's associated to that FERC order. Also, we'll pull up the heat map itself. We'll do a demo just to show you what it looks like and how you can interact with it. And then we'll show you next steps after that. So starting off first, you'll see that the Points of Interconnection Heat Map, it stems from FERC Order number 2023. This heat map is going to be updated by the ISO every 30 calendar days after a cluster study. So if you look at cluster studies, that's going to be about 3 times a year. What the Points of Interconnection Heat Map is it's an interactive web page for interconnection customers. It's going to help them interact and decide where they might want to do potential requests. They'll see once we pull up the heat map itself that it's going to have different geological locations. It's going to show you the available capacity on the ISO's transmission system, where you might want to do that potential request, and so on. Now, you'll notice here at the bottom, we do have a disclaimer about the heat map itself. Now, this will pop up when you enter the heat map. You'll hit I agree to get into the site itself, but it's just as a reminder that this is an informative tool. The results are for information only, and so it could change. Please make sure that you're considering that as you're doing these different type of scenarios. So now that we know the points of interconnection, kind of at a high level, this heat map, I want to talk about how you're going to utilize the heat map. So the way you'll do this is you'll click on the heat map itself. Again, I'll have details about where it's going to be located on the ISO website a little bit later. But you'll be able to select a scenario, and these scenarios are going to be the cluster studies that are available for you to use. You're going to figure out maybe how much megawatts of injection you want to do for a certain location. So you can think of a megawatt number. You can look over that interactive heat map. It's going to be really interesting when we pull it up because you'll see that the color changes. You can hover over different locations and get a snapshot of information of available capacity on that line. You're also able to see a list of substations and details regarding it. And then you're going to be able to analyze the results of that potential interconnection. So you'll enter the amounts you maybe want, and you can figure out where on the map your request would fit best. So now that we've gone over how to utilize the heat map, I want to pull up the heat map itself, and we can go through a demo together. Okay, so now that we have the heat map pulled up itself, you'll see that this is what it looks like. It's the Points of Interconnection Heat Map. You'll see here at the top, it has scenario. Like I mentioned, this is going to be the cluster study that you're able to select from. If we move down, you'll see megawatt injection. So this is going to be where you enter that amount that you're looking for a different type of scenario that you'll run. And I'll show you an example of that here in just a moment. Moving down, you'll see that this table here also reflects to the heat map itself. So you'll see the substation that's listed, the KV, the available capacity that's associated to it, the PTO, and that study area. If you click on the map itself, if you click on the table itself, you're going to click and you'll see that it's going to show up with a location pin, and it'll show you where it is on the heat map. Now you're able to click through this way to kind of locate different things. If you notice that maybe the heat map needs to be zoomed in, you're able to click on the zoom in button and you're able to see the heat map a little bit closer. You'll see on the heat map itself that it has available capacity in megawatts as a color code, and it's going to change as you enter in different scenarios, and I'll show you that once we enter some in. But you'll see we have an orange color, which is less than 0. It's going to show you there. As well as when you hover over that location, a little pop-up box is going to show, and it shows right there that the available capacity is 0. If I were to hover over this teal, you'll see that the available capacity is 31.86. And then down here at this table, this is going to be your results section. So let's run through an example together. On the megawatt injection, let's say for hypotheticals, I'm looking at entering 150. So you'll notice as I've started to enter that, the map is going to change. So you'll see some areas that were a light teal or maybe a light blue. So for example, Meadow Lane currently has 31.86. if I put in 115, we're going to see that Meadow Lane now is that orange, showing that this is not going to be the best area for me to do this injection. You'll also see reflected in the results table down here, you'll see the monitoring facility associated with the substation, as well as you'll see some red font. And this is going to indicate to you that, oh, okay, this probably isn't the best location for my point of interconnect. I might want to look at a different one to make sure that it's going to fit the best. So you'll be able to play around and click on different areas and see what's going to work out best for you. Again, maybe I'm going to look at this darker blue and I'm going to say, oh, this might fit actually my request. Now, as you go through it, we're not going to expect you to memorize this heat map itself. Luckily, in the top right corner, we do have this little question mark icon, and it's this help button. What you'll do is you'll click that, and it's going to walk you through a tutorial. So luckily, you're able to click through. If you have a specific spot that you wanted to review, you can do that itself. But you're able to click through and see different things about the heat map and what we covered today. Now, as you go through, if you do have any questions about the heat map, please submit a city ticket, or you can reach out to us through the Contact Us page. For your city ticket, you're going to want to make sure that you title it Heat Map, just so we can get you to the best person possible. Additionally, as we go through it, this heat map is scheduled to go live on September 20th. Which is going to be this Friday. We will be sending out a notice to folks letting them know that this is activated and where you're able to find it on the ISO website. Currently, we are planning for this to be found on the Generation Interconnection page, but again, we're going to be more detailed with you so you know exactly where that's going to be located. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for sticking around to learn more about this heat map. We look forward for you to use this and utilize it as you're thinking about different interconnection requests. So thank you.